Yes, hello guys, welcome to another video. Today, as you can see from the thumbnail, we're going to be talking how to pass the FIFA Agent exam. So if I was to write the exam, let's take for example, I didn't pass the exam. Yes, a blueprint of what I would do. So let's stick together for this few minutes so that I can give you what I have with my experience so that I can guide you to pass your own exam, and it can help you to become an agent that you can help manage your career or grow to be more successful person, because as I always say, it's a lucrative business or a lucrative job. So first, what do I do? Let's take for example, I will say I've studied a bit. I'm just trying to put myself like in your own situation now. So let's take for example, there are 800 or they're close to 800 something pages. This is what I'll do. The first thing is I'll try to structure myself. So listen, pay attention here, because this is going to help some of you. I'll try to structure myself with a piece of paper and how I'll go about with the study, because the document is quite bulky to go through it. So the first thing I'll be looking at is the RSTP, which is the RSTP, which is the longest part, which is about 150 pages, which concern to rules on transfers, minors, training compensation, and solidarity mechanism. All those topics boils in are inside the RSTP. Yeah, third parties and whatsoever, all those things inside RSTP. So first, those I'll be trying to tackle that, because it's the most biggest part of this the exam, and that part also 30% of the exam comes from it. So remember, I said it's unchangeable 30%. So if you know the RSTP to your fingertips that you can answer every question, know that 30%. If you can answer every question concerning the RSTP, know that you're already 30% okay of the exam. So this is the structure approach I give. Okay. The next part now, we look at the FIFA agent regulation. So this is about agent duties, licensing, representation agreement, conflict, all those things involved. This is about you as an agent. So this talks about you, how to become, how when you have the license, what you do or what you cannot do with that license, how you also interact with clubs as an agent. All these things come inside the FFAR. So this majority of the question comes from 40% of the questions come from here. I repeat, 40% of the questions come from here. So if you have these two topics right, RSTP and the FFAR, you have 70%. So for those who have been following my channel and have been studying, so let's say if you have been taking time studying within this past month, studying already like 70, studying very well those two topics, which means you're having 70% covered, and the exam is just 75% pass. So which means if you have 70% covered, that's why when I'm teaching people, we try to work on how to tackle these two topics, because the questions they give you, they are not always straight. There might be a trick on it. They might try to take you just to trick your brain. So what I teach people is I try to make you understand those questions, that when you read the question, this is how you interpret the question. Okay. So that's why when I'm teaching someone, I'm always 100% confident that that person has to pass, because I have a structure in plan and I try to let's tackle those topics, how to answer those questions. This is how you answer certain questions. And within few months, the person is also doing the same thing. So when you go to the exam, it's almost like, okay, this is a piece of cake. I'm so happy I can pass the exam. So this is how you try to structure. This is how you try to look at the exam. So the next, now you start looking at other secondary topics like the football tribunal. There you can say, let's take for example, if you have 75%, which means how many percent is left? 25%. 25% that comes on like things like football tribunal, child safeguard, FIFA disciplinary code, and FIFA ethics code, and the FIFA statutes. All those other topics, they have now 25%. So you see how the structure now goes. So which means if you're smart, you're narrowing it down to certain you're narrowing it down so that you focus on the main topics. As I told you, try to know it as much as possible, even if it means joining someone's classes. Sacrifice for those things, just try to do that, because those two topics, the questions might not come the same, like how, let's give an example, how they're in the mock question, because the mock questions are much easier. Most people will answer the mock questions because they're a group of, let's take for example, they're like a group of 300 questions repeating itself. So if you do that mock question like 10 times, you're going to must have come out with, already know most of the questions. So you see that it's not also really, it's good to answer the most more questions to give you confidence from the FIFA agent, from the FIFA platform, but you need to do more than that also. So after having all these topics covered, the first thing, let me say, you how do you cover this topic? Let's say you try to, from the RSTP, try to read the materials, and then you set, let's say for example, try to set 20 questions based all on RSTP and answer them. Same like when this is the same strategy you use also on the FFAR. Do it, set 20 questions just on that and answer them. Do that, set 2 questions and answer them. Time yourself 60 minutes. Do that, set 12 questions, time yourself 60 minutes and answer them. If that's 60 minutes, and the way you answer them is the ones you know off head, you pass, you bypass, you pass, you take it and go. The ones you don't know off head, you try to use now the book. You try to use the book to navigate and find it, and try to find it as quick as possible. This is how you keep him. The more you use the book to find it, the more also you are more familiar to using the book, because the book also you can use it on the exam day. I usually teach people how to locate things based on, let's take for example, if they give you a question like how long is the representative agreement? They give you a question like that. Let's take for example, first, if you see representative agreement, if you must have studied all the topics like what I teach in class, in the classes, is like, first, representative agreement, how do you go, what page is it? Because the first thing when trying to teach someone to really pass this exam, I'll try and make sure that you know all the topics and the pages of the main topic. Let's take for example, if from the beginning you know that from the study material, the FIFA Statutes is the first, is it from 1 to 47? You already know that, okay, this is like how I used to study from 1 to 47, the FIFA stages. Then you go now, hey, which one is the second? Is this the FIFA ethics? I mean, is it the ethics code, which is probably from 47 to 100 to 100. Then after you go from the FIFA disciplinary code, which might be like from 100 to 150. Then after you go again from the FIFA, the RSTP, which RSTP is the longest, which is like from 150 to 250. It's about 100 pages. Then after that, you look at you. So you just keep going like that. So this is just off head I'm saying, but this probably they're all right like that from the August 2024 study book. So this is how, when you master all those. So when they give you something like representative agreement, what you do is, okay, you think like, okay, the representative agreement is under FFAR. And what is FFAR is under which location? You just go, pam, you look from it there. You go to the, you go to the table of content. You try to scroll through the table of content, and then from there you pick the direct location and go there. So you use almost like a minute to find that, or 40 seconds to find that, because you already know where the places are, the things are. So this is how you use the book. So after knowing this, then the next thing is how to also that's the main important thing. After you study, you learn how to find those things. So what I'll tell you is focus on those key topics, RSTP, FFAR, and then try to navigate them also. Then use when you're answering those 20 questions, put yourself 20 multiple choice questions and always answer them with the same exam method, and this is going to help you to pass the exam. If you have something that you need to know, you can leave me a message. I can also clarify those things. But yeah, that's one of the structures that I always give people, and I hope this help you for those who are asking these questions. So yes, that's it. We keep in touch and we talk later in another video. Cheers.